Landscape design, maximizing green space in residential design. Hello everyone, I am Frederick O. Pulmano, a fifth-year architecture student of CIT University, the researcher of this thesis presentation. Let us take a look first of the contents of this thesis presentation. Contents include introduction, the problem and objectives, the scope, data and analysis, and architectural solutions. Before we start, let me read to you these few words of inspiration. Create a space to enjoy, to relax, and to grow. Let's proceed with the introduction. About the title. What is green space? Green space, land that is partly or completely covered with grass, trees, shrubs, or other vegetation. This study is about maximizing green spaces, focusing in residential designs. The rationale. Residential design is made to further develop green spaces, especially during this time of pandemic. With the availability of green spaces, residential design extended its access to nature to create a healthier environment while staying at home. The problem. The main problem of the study is how to maximize green space in residential design. What are the planning issues? What are the new space requirements? What are the long-term benefits of the study? Here are the objectives of the problem. Aesthetic of the building, to make plans on how to beautify the green space. Extension or alteration of open spaces, to identify new space requirements for the extension or alteration. Healthy environment, to create a healthy and safe environment, especially during this time of pandemic. Here's the strategy of the objectives. Cultivate the green space and create a softscape. List down the new space requirements of the extension or alteration. Create greeneries and use some wooden materials that can create proper ventilation. The scope and delimitations. Focus on maximizing green spaces, arrangement of greeneries, healthy environment, and is delimited to the required development of knowledge about green spaces in relation to landscaping. Data and analysis. What's the big impact? Let's start with a summary of data gathered. Majority of the respondents prefer to have a front yard upon acquisition of their property. Majority of the respondents prefer to have alteration to increase the space and to have a green space. Most of the respondents says no to alteration because of existing building, budget blackouts, and for them, their yard is important that it needs to not be changed or altered. Based on the respondents' answers, the most important space that they choose for extension is the living room, courtyard, study area, alfresco, and home office. Outdoor garden, open space, is the most frequently used space during the home quarantine period. Most of the respondents chose comfort as the most important aspects during isolation. Most of the local respondents chose to have access to indoor and day lighting. Conclusion. During this time of pandemic and home quarantine period, we need to have a more comfortable and safer environment to keep us safe from the COVID-19 virus. Because of this reason, the researcher concludes that there is a need for some extensions or alterations in residential designs to make the home environment more comfortable and safer to live in. Design solution. Aesthetic, extension or alteration, healthy environment. Let's start with the concept. Green architecture. In green architecture, the designer attempts to create a better environment with proper ventilation, vegetation, and apply environmentally friendly construction practices. Energy efficiency is the goal to reduce the amount of energy required to provide products and services. Like solar panels, they are an alternative source of energy. And the water, they are an alternative source of water. Hardwood, wooden lattice, and glass are environmentally friendly construction materials that should be used. For the aesthetics, greeneries beautify the facade, building form, and the indoors of the building. For the living rooms, study area, and office rooms, extensions or alterations may sometimes be necessary to create a greener environment. The porch, alfresco, and courtyards shall be planted with green grasses, soft gates, and be beautifully landscaped to create a healthy environment. This is how the exterior perspective looks like during the day and during the night. This is how the interior perspective of the living room, dining, and kitchen looks like. And finally, this is how the area perspective looks like. Thank you. God bless us all.